PokerGO, the ultimate destination for everything poker. Tournaments.
On the river, it's a heart!
Cash games.
Oh, she showed it!
Grudge matches.
You look stupid to everybody.
Lifestyle. And content you can't find anywhere else.
Target.
Score!
Watch live or whenever you want. Take a look around. You'll like what you find. Unlock the poker world only on PokerGO.
Hello and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino, the home of the World Series of Poker, one last time. We finished the series off with a bang, event number 87, the $100,000 high roller. I am David Tuckman, joined by Sam Grafton, known by many as Squid Poker.
Excited to be here, David, and what an amazing final table.
Yeah, speaking of amazing, Michael Addamo looking for his fourth World Series of Poker bracelet, his second of this series. Some of the top players in the world admit he is on a level that's higher than them. You played against him. What makes him so special as we look at the leaderboard?
Yeah, Michael's super strong, and this is what he specializes in. This kind of dominating chip lead has been a feature of the run he's made in high rollers in the United States and elsewhere recently. Absolute crusher who so often builds this kind of giant stack.
Henrik Hecklen in second place. Take a look at the Cuervo. There are no strangers payouts. First place, $1.95 million. The remaining five players all guaranteed $434,000. And each of these five players looking for that beautiful World Series of Poker gold bracelet. Two of these five players have won a bracelet before. Sam Soverel won one in a PLO event. Finished second in a 50K high roller to Danny Tang in 2009. Michael Addamo looking for bracelet number 4. The other three players are all looking for bracelet number 1. Mentioned you've played this event. You finished in 7th.
Okay. Don't remind me. The wound is still fresh, Tuck. The wound is still fresh. Yeah, I made a hero call against
I really thought I was going to ace his
Hecklen, which didn't work out.
Henrik Hecklen, a heck of a player from Denmark on 5.4 million chips. There's a look at Addamo.
Not like this. No.
Yeah, and this is going to be a feature of this final table. Michael just putting these guys to the test. They're all trying to outlast each other and make it up the pay ladder to some extent. And he's going to be able to put the pressure on them. This is something Michael does really well, like perhaps the best in the world at this kind of spot on final table. Obviously studied and worked on it a lot.
Can you overstep when pushing your opponents around? Take a look at the chip denominations.
I'm sure you can, but Michael seems to tread the line absolutely perfectly, knowing which hands to just raise and put pressure on, which hands to shove. And I mean, it's going to be really exciting to see him play with whole cards up, because as I said, he's really on a huge tear through high stakes at the moment. I think everyone's interested in what he's doing, how he's separating himself from the pack. I mean, this is a really strong lineup, by the way. All these guys super experienced. K-Rab, Kevin Rabichow, very strong, no limit hold'em player. Henrik Hecklen played the highest stakes cash games in the world, and obviously Sam Soverel, we know, no stranger to super high rollers. And again, Michael
Do we have a clock? Where's the clock at?
Sam's always sniping at everyone.
Incredibly difficult to see.
I think he's...
Yeah, they are playing with a time clock. They have a shot clock. They have 30 seconds to make a decision. They do get extra chips. If they need more time, they get 30 seconds per chip.
Yeah, and Michael shoves again. Second hand in the row here with the 10-9 suit. And you see Kevin probably knows that he could be a bit ahead of Michael's range, but just can't make the call because it hands so much money to his opponents. And there we go, the rich getting richer.
Well, he made the call here.
Oh, he's called it. It's going to be ace-jack.
Ace-jack versus 10-9.
Big spot. Just to leave immediately. I had to come all the way to the Rio for this.
So Perry wearing his ugly holiday sweater.
Making it look good though, Tuck. It wouldn't suit you or me, but
Don't bottom.
So Perry all in. He came in as the short stack with just 3.9 million chips.
Yeah, that makes it a bit easier to call off. And obviously, ace-jack very strong. And a 9, but an ace for
Dude, that was
Perry.
a good door card, Addamo, man.
Yeah, Perry with the pair, with top pair here. Addamo looking for running cards, a 9 or 10. See that Perry's
The
a
9 was
4-1
in the
favorite.
door. It was like not like this.
There is Perry's rail. It's an ugly sweater rail, so to speak. Neither player has a spade in their hand.
Dude, mine's coming out through my chest. This is crazy. He's not even nervous.
Feels like 3% of his chips are at risk.
Pot is 8.3 million. This would put Perry squarely in second place if he holds.
Big, big river card for both players.
It is a fourth spade, it's the 3, and you can hear Sean Perry and his rail very happy, and that's a huge thing. You referenced the payouts. Fifth place, 434,000.
3.92.
He's currently in second right now, and that's for 1.2 million.
Yeah, and it's a significant dent in Michael's stack for sure. Now, you know, he can switch places with Sean if there's another misstep.
Yeah, Sean Perry excited. That is a son of legendary poker player Ralph Perry. His grandma also played poker. And Sean Perry, kind of a wild card at this final table.
Yeah, a wild card and a wild individual for sure.
For sure, no doubt. And right before this final table started, Jeff Platt caught up with Sean Perry.
120 or whatever.
Well, Sean, we finally get you to this stage. How important is it for you to add a World Series of Poker bracelet to your list of poker accomplishments?
I mean, this would mean absolutely everything to me. I actually have some bracelet already my dad gave to me when he won one, but I don't have one of my own name yet, so it would mean everything. I don't know, it'd be like the most prestigious thing to win.
How do you deal with the pressure that Michael Addamo will most likely apply to you throughout the course of play?
I want to be honest, I'm already scared of him, and we haven't even started playing. So I guess we'll figure it out when it happens.
Best of luck out there. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean shows a lot of personality
Like,
at the
you
table.
keep dealing
You
over
see
here,
that
they
in
keep
interview.
popping in the air. Just
Yeah, he's a real talkative character and someone that's really nice to have on these high-stakes finals.
No doubt, no doubt.
if you can't pitch it all the way, don't worry about it. Put it here and
We talked about his dad, Ralph, his grandmother. On his mother's
Because when
side,
you
Penny
try to throw it to the end,
Levinson,
it
passed away
flashes,
back in
and
2018.
this
He was
guy's
also
really
a high-stakes
sharp.
7-card
He hugs the
stud and
table, he
hold'em
looks
player
like
at the
under the
Mirage
cards.
in the early 90s.
Wow.
So it's, I mean, it was just destined for him to be on the felt at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. What a heritage.
Rules may change every round.
Yeah, I guess so.
We need Nancy in that, right?
So we've gone through. You came in 7th place, cashed for 263,000. What is it? I noticed when I look at your bio, over the last few years, you've been playing a lot more high rollers, and you've had some success in them. What is it?
Dude, I
what
really
skill
tanked with that
set
ace-jack.
does it take to perform in this stage?
It's going to be a good day, boys.
Well,
it's going to be a good day.
I'm of course trying to grapple with it and make a name at high stakes. I wouldn't say I have that particular question solved, but certainly you need to have a very strong technical game. That's something all these 5 players have. And then also it's just being comfortable and strong in your game. In situations like this, at finals, when ICM is in play, when there's pay ladders and such like, but also deeper stacked early in tournaments, you don't want to get crushed in the early stages by people that are more familiar with 100 big blinds and 150 big blinds. And, you know, someone like Michael that's had so much success, he has both of those things in his game, as I'm certain do most of the other players. Like Kevin is a very, very strong tournament player, also has a cash background. So when it's 100 big blinds deep, he's going to play really well. When he's on the short stack, he's also going to be comfortable.
Wait, he really took off? Yo, we're going to need back 5K chips.
Take a look at the GPI, the Hendon Mob bio for Kevin
table.
Rabichow, 32 years old.
Just 100 is enough.
Poker
Just bring
player,
100
coach.
colored them
I've
all
actually
off.
worked with him myself. I've done
we have
commentary
to
with
change every
him.
end.
He is a great no limit heads up player.
Here, Sam.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I was having, I had dinner with Kevin
want the
this
cards to
series
come out as
actually,
quick as
and both of
possible
us were
when she
moaning
goes.
that we'd never made a World Series final table.
He's also a chef, by the way.
Yeah, and then this was both of our first final tables actually. This is Kevin's first World Series no limit final table, and I'm sure he's a strong contender for sure.
Now, he is now our short stack. Well, he's actually got a couple 100,000 more than Soverel, pardon me. Those stacks are on the top of your screen. You can see Addamo on 16.1 million, Perry on 7.8 million, Rabichow, Soverel, Hecklen. Really nothing between the bottom 3 stacks, yet the payouts are enormous. You know, you're talking about $830,000 for third, $434,000 for fifth.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to allow Michael to pressure them that much more. When you're clear bottom stack,
Here, I'll just buy
actually
them if you want.
you are allowed to bust, you are allowed to play a bit more freely as the extreme short stack. When you're contending with 3 other people, putting yourself at risk is a much more delicate proposition.
Perry's going to limp in from the small blind. Addamo taps the table, says, let's see it flop. Pot is 720,000.
Are you short?
Yeah, we each need 10.
Oh, you still need more?
Yeah, and
no
deep
problem.
stacked, out of position. I mean, relatively deep stacked, over 30 big blinds deep. And with a deep SPR, it's going to be difficult for Perry to navigate this unless he hits the flop.
King
I think we're gonna
5-5.
get paid.
No suits out there. We came back with 2 minutes left in level 20. The blinds were 100,000, 200,000. They have quickly jumped up now. 120,000, 240,000 blinds with a 240,000 big blind ante. Levels are only 40 minutes long.
Yeah, it is quite a fast structure. And I don't think Michael's going to let this c-bet go, I wouldn't imagine. He has way more 5Xs than Perry. Perry's forced to fold the spot quite a lot. And so a lot of 5s don't get limited. It'd be interesting to see how Addamo proceeds. I mean, for a lot of players, this would just be a standard fold, right? You've got 7 high. But yeah, he's not going to let, you know, this sort of strategy of just betting and hoping to win, it's going to work against some players, but not against Michael.
It kind of goes back to different skill set, different playing style if you're playing against world-class players as opposed to, you know, players that you might see in, let's say, the World Series of Poker main event or your standard $1,500 event.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, this is a kind of a good card for Perry because it's going to mean that Michael isn't going to try and bluff him now. Michael obviously has outdrawn a portion of Perry's range. He might bet for protection, but he's not going to start blasting and really putting pressure on Perry.
And Perry's ace will play. Both players the 7s and 5s.
I mean, I shouldn't speak too soon, of course, with Michael, but yeah. He's just going to put in a little protection bet here. Let's say Perry had bet an ace-queen or ace-8. Puts him in more of an uncomfortable situation. Just protecting the 2 pair with the king.
Sean Perry wearing the I'm Santa sweater, because why not?
Yeah, but it's a cool final table outfit. I'll definitely give him that. And as you say, it will be 2 pairs with the ace for Perry. He will win this hand when it's checked down.
And it does get checked down as you predicted. Nice little pot there for Mr. Perry, who's up to 9 million. Addamo down to 15 million. Still our chip leader. Don't cry for him. But he did come into this final table with over 19 million.
Yeah, I mean, all of these guys, I think, you know, I've just played a lot of high-stakes poker, and it won't really affect his mentality. He'll know that this like, occasionally he's going to double up an opponent early doors, and he won't be affected by losing a few chips. I don't think.
That is Sam Grafton alongside me. He is known as Squid Poker. For people who don't know, where does Squid Poker, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think it was just goofing around, really. I didn't take poker. It sounded a little bit fishy, a little bit aquatic, and it was just a silly nickname. But obviously, as poker became more and more my life, I've kind of owned the moniker. And yeah, I don't mind when people call me Squid.
I mean, I think for years I didn't even know what your first name was. I just thought you were. I actually thought maybe his first name's Squid.
Well, there's so many good Sams, by the way. Sam Soverel, Sam Trickett. I was for a long time. I've always been the 7th best Sam in poker, but I'm the #1 Squid, so that's okay.
There you go.
I'm guessing we're going to play 3 levels.
Action onto Perry and the button. Perry off to a great start. Doubled up with the ace-jack versus 10-9. And now currently very solidly in second place.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see Perry's approach. I definitely, you know, he spoke a little bit about the bracelet, and there is a bit of an X factor with some players, right? How much does the bracelet and the win and the glory weigh on them? You know, you could pressurize someone perhaps just playing for money, just making every single decision correctly in terms of what it means for them in terms of the payouts. But maybe Perry is going to go for the glory a little bit more. I don't want to speak too confidently about that.
Yeah, I was wondering what Addamo would do, having position on Perry. Perry being,
1.68.
you know, on 9 million chips. He's actually the one that has to worry about Addamo.
Sure, he should be, absolutely. And
I was wondering if Addamo was going to get out of line. Turns out he has the goods.
Yeah, and Perry quickly releases.
And now Perry's got to be thinking, he doesn't know Addamo is ace-king. He's got to be thinking in his head, wait, is this guy just going to push me around still?
Yeah, I mean, with Michael's success, I think there's almost an aura around him, as there once was with Crown Up Guy, with Ivy, with Coleman. When you go on that big run, people sort of see ghosts when you're 3-betting them or when you're putting pressure on them. They begin to misperceive your range and think you're coming after them when actually you're just getting good hands. And
GPI,
Michael,
the Hendon Mob bio here for Michael Addamo, 27 years old, looking for bracelet number 4. And what you say there is just 100. It's so true.
Yeah.
When you're on that streak, when it was Dan Coleman, when it was Fedor, when it was Phil Ivey, whoever it might have been, it almost feels like they can turn 4s into aces.
Yeah, absolutely. And 3 bracelets and also that recent Super High Roller Bowl title. So hard to win bracelets when you're strictly a no-limit holder player. And a young lad as well.
What do you have, Kim? 4.2 plus the blind.
On the button with 6-4. Addamo asking K-Rab what his stack is. K-Rab's favorite meal to make, by the way. Very simple. Just eggs. Scrambled eggs.
A man of simple tastes.
Yeah. If you follow him on Instagram, by the way, you'll see his food.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
So, I mean, a guy who knows poker and food, as far as I'm concerned, he's winning.
That's a balanced range as well, two very contrasting hobbies. And you see, again, this might be a situation ordinarily you would fold the 6-4 off, but Michael with this chip advantage gonna be V-pipping super, super wide on the button.
V-pip meaning entering the pot voluntarily?
Yes, absolutely. A little bit of jargon for you there.
I like the jargon.
And Sam will make a loosish defend.
Sam does call out of the big blind, getting a price. Pot's now 1.32 million. And both players get a piece of it. To your point earlier, is this enough actually? Is this enough for Addamo not to bluff at it now?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to bet almost his entire range here on this flop. Not much 4x, deuce x gets defended. He might not even think that Sam is defending as wide as king 4 off. So he's going to be able to bet his whole range here on the flop. But as you say, in a way, it might just be good that Michael has a piece of the board, because otherwise he would be exerting extreme pressure. So we'll see how it plays out. Certainly, I don't think Sam can be folding right now. He's going to know the 4 is very, very often good.
Sam with 3.9 million behind, started the hand with 4.6 million. Sam Soverel with a bracelet to his name. He won it in PLO, but certainly known as one of the no-limit hold'em crushers out there.
Yeah, he's an incredibly accomplished player, Sam. So relaxed at the table. I mean, played high-stakes poker in all formats for a long, long time. Goodness knows how many big PLO cash games he's been in when he's not playing high rollers.
How would you describe his style of play, having played with him?
Yeah, he definitely has a live field player aspect to him. I think he's someone that you have to be very, very cautious when you're entering a pot. You don't tip off your hand through how you're acting at the table. He makes some plays which I don't know, where he's able to make strong calls, strong folds because of how he perceives an opponent, and also obviously a strong technical game as well. As I said, nearly all of these guys have to have.
Check on the turn. Pot is 1.8 million. Both players might be content to get the showdown.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit too weak to be value betting on the river, particularly into the chip leader. That is what Sam's thinking through now. If he were to put out a blocker bet, could he get called by worse?
And he does check. Action on Addamo, who checks it back.
King 4.
And Soverel's going to win it with king 4. Addamo once again hits a pair, but he gets out-kicked. Again, these players are playing with a shot clock. They have 30 seconds to act on their hand. If they need more than that, they toss in one of those chips and they get an additional 30 seconds. Soverel stacks up the chips. He's up to 5.5 million chips. If you're watching us on YouTube, we need you to hit that like button right now. And don't forget, you can get unlimited access to more than 4,000 hours of poker content by subscribing to PokerGo.com. Be sure to use the promo code 100K to save $20 on an annual plan. Some great stuff over on PokerGO. High stakes poker, poker after dark. High stakes is my favorite. It's my favorite show I've ever seen, period.
Yeah, I've seen high stakes poker more times than I can count. Still always weird for me when I play live with one of those guys, and it's a little bit creepy because I think I've watched you so many times, like so many hands I've seen again and again and again. And now we really will see how far Michael's prepared to push it with the 3 deuce.
Look.
Does find a fold with the suited Jordan finally.
Gave up.
I was going to ask you. I mean, 3 deuce is good for some players, but you know, maybe not Addamo. I was wondering if he was raising on the button 100% of his range.
before the hand. So
Yeah, maybe not 100%. Maybe deuce 3 off or something like that he would fold, but certainly very, very wide. As I say, he's got an incredible grasp of these final table dynamics and what it means to wield a big chip lead.
The 2003 runner-up, 2004 runner-up to the World Series of Poker main event, David Williams, I remember talking to him about this, and he said when you have the chip lead, yes, you want to wield that power, but there's also a responsibility to protect that chip lead. What do you think on that?
Well, Michael really has them well covered in this situation. You know, he can afford to double up, you know, everyone except Perry and still will have the chip lead. So I think he's someone that really has shown how far you can push it with the chip lead and keep his foot to the gas all the way through. And I think that's what we'll see on this final table.
Take a look at the GPI, the Hendon Mob. Bio for Sam Soverel, 31 years old. Went to University of Florida. StarCraft competitor. It seems like a lot of poker players came from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Big crossover between other nerdy games. We all have...
hey. It's 2021. It's okay to be a nerd these days.
Absolutely. I'm one myself. I'm fully initiated into that world. See, here, Michael, just a blocker, but the king, basically Sam and Hecklen and K-Rab, they're not going to flat very much. The main thing that you're going to face is an all-in shove from these 3 stacks. So just having the high card, that's very, very valuable in this instance.
Action folds around to Perry in the big blind with ace-4. Those raggy aces can be troublesome, but against Addamo's opening, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's quite close. I think Sean Perry, for sure, is someone that will defend this. I don't think he will think twice about it. I think that'll be his approach. He's certainly fearless and won't be afraid to take a flop with Michael.
Yeah, and you talked about, you know, laddering up. You talked about ICM, and also, you know, which players are looking to ladder up, which players are maybe trying to play more for the bracelet. As a competitor, as one of the players at the table, you need to figure that out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you need a strategy which is tailored specifically to your opponent, and that's, again, a skill these top players have.
Yeah. I mean, which one of the players cares about the gold bracelet more, and which ones, you know, care about the $200,000 pay jumps?
Absolutely.
For me, I care about both. Just going to come out and say it. Top pair here for Addamo, and not a particularly good flop for Perry, and you imagine this is a good check, bet, fold?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a spot where Michael has the stronger range. He has the really, really nut holdings on this board, and Perry's got to play passively and slightly overfold this spot against the chip leader. So ace-4 is certainly going to be in the bid.
Yep. Thousands upon thousands of children watching as Santa loses more chips. Michael Addamo, his career live tournament winnings in excess of 15.7 million. He's just 27 years old, and really there hasn't been a hotter player out there over the past year.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. He's playing on another level from even some of the top guys right now. And
I don't intend to
as
do
I said,
that.
it's a real treat to see him in action.
Or prefer to.
I mean, I had him on my left on the final table yesterday, and I knew straight away it was a terrible seed draw. Not only because he had the chip lead, but because, as I say, he knows how to use it so expertly.
Oh, it's on the ground.
That go off the table?
Yeah.
Should I get it?
Floor, card down.
The Dane on the button, Hecklen.